What's up, everybody? Randomania is running wild. As you can see, we had Randy Hogan on a couple weeks ago, and now we've got the shirts.
That's right. Hogan World Order. Randomania. We're all about Randy Hogan. He gave us a great interview. He's a good man. Check out Randy Hogan stuff on Facebook where you can get gear just like this.
That's right. Get your deals today. Here, you're ready for your dose of reality. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Quack Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Quack.
And I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem, and we're continuing Dear Independent Wrestling, and we're going to show you proper locker room etiquette. Sir, Dr. Quack, how you doing? My name is Mr. Mayhem. Good to meet you.
How you doing? I'm Dr. Quack.
As you noticed there, that was a firm handshake. That was not this stuff that you hear about that doesn't exist anymore in wrestling, the soft or fake or kayfabe handshake. That's not done anymore. So now that we've done that, go ahead and let us know what the rest of the story is, because locker room etiquette is one of the things we're talking about.
Yeah, right now we're on locker room etiquette, and we will also be talking about promotional packages. But let's start with locker room etiquette here. We just started with the handshake. What do you do when you walk into a locker room that you've never been in before?
The first thing you want to do when you walk in is you want to be early, not on time, early. We mentioned that in the previous video. You show up on time, you're already late, because you still have to make sure you shake everyone's hand. You want to say hello to everybody, whether you've met them before or not, whether they're famous or not. Ric Flair makes a habit of, when he's appearing on independent shows, when he was with TNA, or when he appears at WrestleCons or anything like that, he shakes hands with everybody, introduces himself, because he doesn't think everybody knows who he is. It's very important to let everybody know who you are and that you respect them and that everybody's equal in the locker room.
That's right. And another thing, when you're talking about locker room etiquette, when you show up early, you really want to impress that promoter and not make him feel like you're the biggest thing since sliced bread. Go out there and help set up the ring. You know, a lot of these guys, they come in late and they just want to sit down, get dressed, do their match, and leave. You know, part of locker room etiquette is basically setting up and taking down the ring. If you don't know how to do it, ask. There's a lot of veterans there that do.
Yep, it could be something as simple as sometimes they just need muscle. I'm a big guy. There were times that before I first started out learning how to set up the ring, just carry a board. You show you how to set up. Those boards are 18, 20 feet long. You know, they need two people to do it. One person can't do it. Carrying in the ring post, those things are a couple 100 pounds. Sometimes you need two people to carry that thing in there. Show you're a team player, because team player, this thing, wrestling is two people in the ring. You're not two enemies. You're two guys together working together for a common goal.
Yeah, I mean that, and if you see a Hall of Famer or a legend, you know, that's big name, and he's coming into the locker room, offer to carry his bags. I mean, the man's earned it. You know, it's called paying your dues. You know, it's something that is totally lost, I believe, in this generation of professional wrestling.
But at the same time, you help that legend out, you're not his friend. Don't all of a sudden, hey, slap hands and high five and hang out with him and sit next to him. It's okay to sit next to him to pick his brain when he's offering stuff from the learning tree. But when he's in the bathroom, give him some respect, give him some privacy.
Definitely. I mean, another big thing that I've noticed, you know, when you go into the locker room, try to, you know, a lot of people distance themselves in a corner. I've noticed that when they first come in there and they don't know anybody, they're getting dressed, they're keeping their earlobes to the ground. That's actually good things.
It is a good thing, because you want to pay attention to who the locker room leaders truly are, who the braggarts are that you don't want to get around, how things work. It's good to not shake the tree, but become part of the group. And being part of the group means you sit back, you use two ears, Because there's 2 ears but only 1 mouth, so you should be listening twice, speaking once.
Exactly right.
And the reason we brought this part up before we go into the promotional package is word of mouth is the biggest advertiser either for you or against you. If you have bad locker room etiquette, you disrespect the veterans, you disrespect the crowd, you disrespect the promoter, you disrespect the booker, your promotional package could be $1 million gold, but it doesn't mean anything if you have no locker room respect.
That's right, because, you know, in this business, it's all on a handshake there. We don't have contracts. You know, we have respect for each other, and the reputation that you carries on throughout your career.
Exactly. Now, when we talk about promotional packages, we're going to be talking about it in 3 different ways. We're going to talk about 1, what to put together and what it should look like. 2, how you send it to other independent promoters, bookers, all the way up to Ring of Honor. We'll call Ring of Honor kind of the top of the independent circuit, even though they have world title status, but they basically still function as an independent company. And then how you send a package to the big top boys, the WWE and AEW. So we're gonna go into all of that. So let's get started with how to put together a package.
Yeah, I mean, the first big thing, you want to have these things in your packages, okay? Number 1, you want to have an 8x10 photo of yourself. You know, in gear, in gimmick, something that shows that, hey, I can sell you to the crowd.
Yes. You want 2 to 3 8x10s, but you don't want the same picture. You want full gimmick shot, like you were trying to sell that photo to the fans out in the crowd. You want an action shot showing something with you doing something that matters and makes sense. Not a blurry photo. Get a good photo. If you have to hire somebody to come to your shows and take a photo, a professional photographer getting an action photo, get a good action photo. Most people, you'll see it with the guy up in the body slam, so you can see your face. And then the third one, you want when you're out there actually getting ready to work. You know, people come out in robes. Ric Flair came out in a robe, but he took the robe off. What do you look like in your gear when you're actually in the ring? And on the back of those, you want your resume. The Billie Kay gimmick that she recently was doing. Your resume on what you've done in wrestling, titles you've held, significant names you've worked, places you've worked of significance.
Who trained you?
Who trained you? How to get a hold of you. If you have hired somebody to be your promoter or your mouthpiece or somebody to handle your dates for you, how to get a hold of them. Who are they? All that kind of stuff matters because the promoter has like 10 seconds to look at that before he decides, do I throw it away in file 13 or do I set it on my desk for somebody to contact?
Exactly. Another big thing, and it depends on how you do this, a lot of people, what I would suggest is DVDs of your matches. You know, they used to send tapes back in the days, back when you had VHS. You can also put links, I guess, to YouTube. Things that you do and do not want in your matches.
Yes, when you put together a DVD package, I highly encourage DVDs versus sending a link on YouTube or something like that, unless you have control of what you're putting up there. But DVDs are better. Important things when you think about in your promotional packages, you want to send 3 matches. But when you send those 3 matches, don't send your entrance. Don't send if you cut a promo. Don't send that stuff. Because promoters just want to see the action. That's what makes the money. And if they have to hit fast forward, they might not stop and hit play again. So take all the stuff out that doesn't need to be there. Your entrance doesn't matter. Your promo before the match doesn't matter. Your walk away after the match doesn't matter. They want to see bell to bell, and that's it.
Yeah, they want to be able to hear it too. That means they don't want a music video of you doing all your high spots out there. They want to hear the crowd reaction to see if you're able to draw heat or if you're able to draw shine.
Yes, if you're going to put music to it, there's nothing wrong with putting music and creating a greatest hits DVD, but you sell that. You don't send that in. That's for where you make money. When you're trying to make money as being a wrestler in the ring, they want to hear the crowd reaction. They also don't want to see a high spots match of 55 front flip bumps off the top rope. They want to see a good overall package. How you tell your story, your psychology, how you get the crowd invested. Does the crowd care about you? Is the crowd want to see you come back? Does the crowd want to pay money to see you again? They don't care about 55 high flips, high spots, and you be the human highlight reel. They also want to see a variety of matches, like if you do a hardcore match or a gimmick match, like a cage match, a regular match, maybe a tag match. They want to see a variety. They want to see a rounded product.
A big thing they look at too, and this is what, really they're looking at, bumping and selling, okay? Vince McMahon looks at pretty much anybody who's not in his company as a backyarder, okay? Whether you were trained or not, who you were trained by, doesn't matter. They're looking to know, can you sell? Can you bump properly? Are you going to be safe in the ring? I mean, a big thing there, because they're going to make their own monster out of you. They have the WWE machine. That's what they would do. AEW as well, probably. They're going to do that. They're not going to just, say, oh, you came out as SpongeBob McGraw over here. We're going to let you use that gimmick up there. No, probably not, because Vince doesn't like other people's ideas.
That's right. And also, when you're working on it, this is something we talked about in our first episode about getting trained. When you go to do your what's called a Snapple match, which they basically in the back, Snapple is the drink at the table. I can't think of the name. The concession
table, yes.
I couldn't think of the name. I apologize, but they want to see chain wrestling. If you get to show up early enough and they want some guys to go out in the ring to chain wrestle, they're trying to evaluate if they're going to have you do a dark match or if they're going to have you be out in the crowd and be a plant. They want to see your chain wrestling. They don't care about, again, you coming off the top rope. They want to see you tie it up. They want to see you chain wrestle, get down on the mat, because those are the fundamentals. If you can't do the fundamentals, WWE has no time for you.
That's right. And you may eventually get your chance to go up for a dark match. You never know. Mike Modest had 17 attempts at the WWE main roster. He got called back and called back and called back because he had something, but for some reason they couldn't find a spot for him. That doesn't mean he was a horrible worker. That just means the WWE couldn't do something with him.
And that's not a bad thing. You have to think about this. There's probably 250,000 wrestlers in the independent circuit across the entire world. What's WWE have? 120, 130 people in there?
If you're lucky, yeah.
So getting that call up means you are closer than most everybody else. So don't look at that as a bad thing. As we say in some of our other things, don't get mad, get better. That's something to think about.
That's right. I mean, basically, when Vince is looking for somebody, he's looking at your body, right? He's wanting to see you be in shape. So if you're looking like you came out straight out of the trailer park or straight from the buffet, you need to hit the gym. That is a big factor.
Yes. And we want to go back a little bit more. Let's turn back, because what we were talking about, putting together a promotional package. What we talked about again was professional photos. Professional photos means by somebody that in a studio. Don't hire somebody to come take a picture of you and you can see the toilet sitting there in the corner. That's an automatic turnoff. It means you're not professional. It means you don't care about who you are. Focus on professional. Always think professional. Would I want to see that photo? If somebody were to send me that photo of me, would I think it's professional? If you honestly can tell yourself no, then you already know your answer. And if you think yes, then you don't belong in this business.
That's right, folks. Well, I think that's about it. What we got there?
Yeah, one last thing. Last thing. When you start sending things off to other promoters, follow up with them. Just like if it's a regular job interview. You don't go and send in your resume or fill out the application at McDonald's and then expect them to just call you back. You have to follow up with them. You have to show you're interested in those promoters, those bookers, because they get hundreds of packages. What makes yours special? Well, one, do you call back? Do you actually follow up? If you send it to the WWE, they have a talent relations person. Right now it's John Laurinaitis. When you call, don't ask for Vince McMahon. Don't ask for Basil DeVito. Don't ask for Kevin Dunn. Ask for the head of talent relations, which right now is John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis watches almost everything. Before him, it was Tommy Dreamer, Tom Rockland. He watched just about everything because that was his job. His job was to evaluate talent. So if you send in something he's interested in, but you don't follow up, obviously you weren't interested, so why should he care about you?
Exactly. I mean, as a scout, that I did this in the past, I would watch 3 to 4 matches because you can't judge up somebody off one match. It could have been the opponent he was working. It could have been he had an off day. So you always want to, if you're scouting out there, you always want to make sure you watch more than at least 3 to 4 matches.
That's why we say when you send in a promotional package of videos, send in at least 3 matches.
Definitely. Well, that's what we got here. On our next episode, we're going to be talking about Spotfest 2021. That is professional wrestling.
Spotfest 2021 versus professional wrestling 1980s, 1990s. What the difference is, how we can get rid of the Spotfest and bring back the real matches. Because if you look at the 1980s, 15,000 people in an arena every week. Jobbers made $100,000 a year in the 1980s. Now they make $50 a match if they're lucky.
That's right. I'm your host, Dr. Quack.
And I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem, saying thanks for watching. Again, as always, if you've got some suggestion of an idea we should talk about, help to fix independent wrestling, please leave us a message here on YouTube, and we'll take a look at it.
And I'm out.